Alright guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the Unit 2 Quiz 3 review. We're reviewing on a Tuesday, one of those crazy weeks. Let's go and get started. The area model represents a carnival game. Alright, so first thing I got to do is I need to put some numbers on here. I always like going with the height of 2. So I always like saying that has a height of 2, that has a height of 2. But remember, guys, this can't have a height of 2 because look how tall these two rows are, and then this one right here is a lot bigger. It's got to be a 4. All right. Now, I'm just going to go off of 2. I like using 2. You know, if that's 2, that's got to be a 2, which means the width right here has got to be a 4. All right. Now, if you want to, you can go around the horn if you want to. Just say, okay, well that'll be a 2. That'll be a 2. This will be a 4. This will be a 4. This will be a 2. And I don't. If you really wanted it to, I'm just doing this probably just to kill time. Who knows? Maybe I shouldn't do that, but I'm doing it. All right. So from here, then I'm going to start multiplying. So the multiplying, I'm going to go ahead and give you. Okay, so that's a 16 square foot. This right here is going to be 2 times 4, which would be 8. This right here will be 8. This right here will be 8. This right here would be 4. This right here will be 4. Anything that size is a 4. Anything that size is going to be an 8. This is going to be a 4. Lastly, this is going to be a 4. All right, now let's see what the question is. What is the probability of winning? All right, so let's do some coloring here. So the probability of winning, let's see, this is a winner right here, this is a winner right here, this is a winner, and lastly, this is a winner right here. So that's 8, 4, 8, 4. I believe it's going to be 24. So it's going to be 24. I'm going to divide that by everything. Usually I have all this stuff worked out beforehand, but I did not. 8, 4, 4, 16. All right, so that has a overall of 64. All right, so 24 divided by 64. Let's see, 24 divided by 64. And I'm going to round to the nearest percentage, and that is 38%. If 200 people play the game, how many people would not win? Well, let's see, if 38 does win, that means 62 would not win, so that would be 0.62%. I'm going to times that by 200. So 0.62 times 200. That gives me 124 people. All right, next question. All right, create a Venn diagram, answer the question. So 130 people said yes. So 130 people will be on the outside of this. 75 said neither. 90 people said both. And we don't know how many people said no only. All right. But we do know that 130 people said yes, and 90 of the 130 said both. So that would give me a difference of 40. Now, using my highlighter here, again, remember this number, this number, this number, and this number all adds up to 275. So I'm going to take 275, subtract 40, subtract 90, subtract 75. And that gives me 70. So how many people voted no only? That was a total of 70 folks. What is the percentage of the people that voted yes and no? Yes and no, that is the both. So that's 90 divided by the total, which is 275, which gives me a rounded 33%. Now create a tree diagram. Now this tree diagram is a little different because it's actually turned on its side. So hopefully that's not giving you problems. So that's an expansion, which equals 100. That's an expansion. 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 And that's an expansion. All right. So let's go ahead and fill in the stuff that already is going to equal 100. All right. So that's 0.7. Put that over there so you see the point. This is going to be 0.4. This is going to be 0.2. This is going to be 0.45. And I believe that's it. All right, now this is a little more challenging because you actually have one more level. Now, if I start here, because I always start here, if I go that route, go that route, it equals that. Okay? Notice what I have is two branches that I know. I don't know what that third branch is. So what you're going to have to do is 0.015 and divide both of those branches. So 0.8, oops, sorry, 0.8, and then I'm going to divide again 0.3. All right. So for that one little blanket, remember I'm solving for this guy right here. Okay, I'm solving for that guy. So 0.015 divided by 0.8 divided by 0.3, and that gives me just checking again. Yep, 0.065. Now that's 0.065, and then I know this is going to add up to 1. So I'm just going to take and I'll subtract 0.9375. Ooh, those are some ugly numbers. All right. Now, let's keep going. Let's do the next one. We'll do this in blue here. That one, that one, that one equals that guy right there. So again, what it equals is 0.21. So off to the side, I'm just going to do 0.21. I'm going to divide by the branches that got me there. So 0.7 times 0.6, I don't know. So 0.21 divided by 0.6 divided by 0.7. That's better. This one looks a lot better here. So that's going to be 0.05, which means this guy right here is going to be 0.95. All right. Let's do green again. So green, again, starting at the top, go down this way, go down this way, go down this way, gives me this guy right here. So I'm going to take 0.96 off to the side here. So 0.196, I'm going to divide that by 0.7 and divide by 0.4. So 0.196 divided by 0.7 divided by 0.4, press enter. All right. That's going to give me 0.7, and then this one's going to give me 0.3. And these bottom ones here, I'm going to let y'all figure it out. I want to keep everything going. I don't want to spend too much time on this. All right, next one. All right, 5,000 people surveyed. All right, let's go ahead and knock this out. 70% wanted Coke. So 70%, that would be right there. Coke. Let's get a different, not that. Let's get a different color here. That's Coke-ish, I guess. That's all Coke right there. That's all Coke. And then Pepsi is kind of bluish. Oh, let's draw the line first. 40% wanted Pepsi. I don't care much for Pepsi myself, so I kind of agree with that. All right, Pepsi will be blue, and I'm going to highlight all the blue here. As you can see, we have a mix. This comes out on video. All right, so this will be the both section. This right here will be the shared section. This right here is Pepsi only. This right here would be Coke only. All right, so let's get some measurements here. All right, so this would be a measurement of 40. This right here will be a measurement of 60. This right here will be a measurement of 70. This right here will be a measurement of 30. That will be a measurement of 40, and then 60. Let's see if I can move this a little bit so you can see it a little better. There it is. This will be a measurement of 30. And this right here will be a measurement of 70. Now, based off of what I've seen, you guys pretty much can get the areas, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. So this ends up being 1,200. This ends up being 1,800. This ends up being 4,200. This ends up being 2,800. And all right, we're going to check to make sure all those add up to 10,000. I believe it does. I believe it did. Let's see. I messed up. Yep, it does. All right, now remember that Pepsi only at 1200. We're going to divide that. Well, actually, we'll just go ahead and do the both. The both is 2800, so I'm just going to, off to the side here. It's going to be, 2800. I'm going to divide that by 10,000, and I'm going to get 0.28, and I'm going to times that by 5,000. Let me write that. I'm going to times that by 5,000 because that's how much the number of people that were surveyed. All right. So 0.28 times 5,000, that gives me 1,400. Now, most of you guys kind of get this, so I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit. All right. Let's see. I don't know why I put shared there. You're probably already yelling at me. That's the neither. Sorry. My bad. So the neither is 18%. So that's 18% of 5,000. So 5,000 times 0.18, that gives me 900. The Coke only, that was 42%. 2,100. And then what was that? The Pepsi only, that was 12%. So Pepsi only, let's see, that was 600. Now, if you remember, this number, this number, this number, and this number should all add up to 5,000 because that's how many people were in the problem to begin with. We got it. Awesome. All right. So 10,000 items were manufactured. How many of each can be created? Let me zoom out a little bit just so we can see everything. All right. So how many crayons? Let's see. Crayons, there was a 55% chance that was a crayon. So I'm going to take 0.55, I'm going to times it by 10,000, and I believe that's going to be, if I move the decimal, 5,500. How many pins were created? Well, that was 25%, so 0.25 times 10,000 gives me 2,500. And then there's pencils, there's 20%, so that's 0.20. Times 10,000, which gives me 2,000. There we go. What is the probability that a moderate pencil will be produced by the company? All right, a moderate pencil. Let's see, a moderate pencil. All right, there's a pencil, that's 20%, times moderate, which is 30%. So I'm going to 0.20. I'm going to times that by 0.30. I believe it's going to be 0.06. I'm pretty sure on that, but I'm going to check. Yep. And I'm going to times that by, let's see, what's probability? 10,000, because there was 10,000 that were created. And I believe that's going to give me 600. It does. If 7,000 items were produced, how many items were of poor quality? Poor quality pins. All right, so poor quality pins, I'm just going to use blue here. Pin, there's a 25% chance. There's a 50% chance of it being poor. Whew, it's not a good company. So I can make this a little bigger here. Let's see, that's 0.25 times 0.50 equal, I believe it's going to be that right there. Let me check. Awesome. And I'm going to times that by 7,000. 875 pins, or actually 4 pins. All right, moving on. Alrighty, here we go. Pumpkin question, but it's smiley faces. All right, so first off, I'm dealing with 4 trails. So the best way to draw 4 is start by cutting it in half, and then half your halves. That's the best way to do things. All right. So the very first trail, walking. Hey, look at that. I got 3. So I'm going to try to half or cut this in 3. Put it right there. Put it right there. All right. So 2 of them end in a smiley. So I'm going to put a smiley right there. Smiley. All right. Let's do the second one. Let's see. green, walking, walking, walking. Remember, that is not a fork. We keep walking, boom, nothing. Alrighty, that's easy. All right, for trail 3, oh, there's our first branch, or first fork, I meant, sorry. There we go. All right, so if I kept on if I walked up, let's see, walk, 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 boom, that ends in nothing. All right, let's see if I keep going. Oh, look at that, hit another fork. So I'm going to half my half. If I was to keep walking, walk, 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 I hit a smiley. So that's a smiley. But notice I can still walk. I still have an option here. Walk, 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 boom, another fork. So I have to half my half my half. There we go. One's a smiley, one's nothing. All right, so we'll just make that. That's smiley. Nope, smiley. All right, and then my very last one here. Let's see. Walk, 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 walk. Whoop, there it is. One smiley, one nothing. Try to draw that the best I can. All right, let's throw some numbers on here. So I'm going to, again, make my overall height of each row 2. All right. And I'm going to make the entire width, you know what? Let's make that 12. I'm just going to go with 12. I like 12. 12. So if that's the case, if that's 12, then that right there, this would be 6. This would be 6. This would be 6. This would have to be 3. And this would have to be 1.5. 1.5. Move that down a little bit so you can see. All right, this right here would have to be 12. This right here would have to be 4. Put that a little closer so you can see it. This would have to be 4. This right here would have to be 4. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and put some numbers in here. All right, so I'm just going to write with my. This is going to be ugly. I'll write with my mouse. That's an 8. I just needed numbers I could stand out. That's an 8. This will be 24. This will be 12. That would be 6. 1.5 times 3 would be, I'm sorry, 2 times 3 right there. That would be a 12. This right here would be a 12. All right. That wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and use the highlighter. Let's see. That's a win. 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 What is the probability of a smiley? All right, well, let's add up all my smileys here. So all my smileys, make that a little bigger so we can see it. All right, so that is 8, 8, so that's 16 plus 6 plus 3 plus 12. That gives me 37 divided by the whole thing, which is 96. So 37 divided by 96, press enter. That's going to be a rounded 39%. So if 2,500 people walked, all right, so that would be a continuation. So that's going to be 0.39, which is 39% times 2,500. So 0.39 times 20. I'm probably going to get a decimal. Oh, I didn't. Look at that. 975 people. In a proposed business venture, company estimates that there's a 60% probability it'll make 95,000, 20% probability to break even, and 20%. All right, so you're dealing with, let's see, 3 scenarios. You're either going to make money, you're going to lose money, or you're going to break even. So I'm going to go ahead and make some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So let's start kind of typing some stuff in here. So this represents if I make money. If I make money, it's going to be, well, make money, break even. This is lose money. All right. So if I make money, I'm going to make 95,000. And there is a 60% chance of that happening. If I break even, that means I'm making nothing, 0. And there's a 20% chance of that happening. Let me write that as a percentage. And then if I lose money, I'm losing 65,000. And there's going to be a 20% chance of that happening. So what are the odds of me winning? Or not winning, but what's my expected value? Remember, I want to take each pair and multiply it. 95,000 times 0.6 plus 0 times 20% times negative 65,000 times 0.2. All right. Estimated $44,000. All right. Same create an area model. What is probability of winning? All right. Well, look, it already had the scale on here. That's nice. So since it already had the scale, I'm just going to go ahead and write it. This will be 50. This right here will be 50. This right here, again, that'll be a width of 50, width of 50. Depending on how strong you are with this, you may not have to write all the 50s, but I did. All right, this will be 20 because it goes up to 20. This goes up to 50. Oops, I messed up. That'll be 30 because it started at 20, goes up to 50. This right here is the 1, 2, 3. That'll be a 30. This will be a 20. This will be a 20. This will be a 30. This will be a 50. All right. Let's put some numbers on here. So this ends up being 1,000. This ends up being 1,000. This ends up being 1,500. Oop, 1,500. This is 1,500. Just multiplying base times height. 1,500. 2,500. 10,000. I'm sorry, 1,000. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and highlight winning a rabbit. This one's a rabbit. This one's a rabbit. This one's a rabbit. So when I add all my pieces together, that ends up with, let's say, 4,500 divided by the total, which is 10,000, which gives me 45%. If 200 people play the game, how many people would not win a rabbit? Well, 45% wins a rabbit. That means 55% lose. I'm then going to take that and times about 100 to, I believe that's 110. Awesome. Is that the last one? Okay, last one on this one. The local high school having a raffle. Tickets are $10 and 5 of them have been sold. The prices of a sweatshirt. All right. So we're dealing with a raffle. So let's see. The items I could win: the sweatshirt, the professional game as Crazy Joe, and you could be a loser. All right. So that's 8. All right. So I'm just going to scroll that down so I have more room to write here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, running out of room, 7, 8. All right. So this represents if you sweatshirt. This represents if we win the gift card, GC. This represents the tires. And this is if you're a loser. All right, so let's go ahead and go through it all. Let's see. The sweatshirt is worth, what is that, $30, but you had to pay $10 to get into the raffle, so that's 20, and then it is going to be 500, 1 out of 500. The gift certificate was 100, but then you had to pay $10, so that's a $90 value. 1 divided by 500. The tires is 80, but again, paid $10 to get into the raffle. 1 out of 500. And if you're a big loser, you get negative $10, and the probability is 497 divided by 500. Let's see if I can put that back on here. So when I multiply all that out, I end up with, well, actually, I should answer that first one. So negative $8.14. But how many different scenarios are in the problem? There's 4. You can win 3 items and then be a loser. Gave them a deck of cards. You draw a face card. You're awarded 5 points. If you okay, so it's either drawing a face card or not drawing a face card. So those are 2 situations here. So 2 situations would mean 4 blanks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So this would be a face card FC, and this would be other card OC. OC. All right, so face card, let's see, you're going to get 5 points, so that's going to be a 5. How many face cards are there? Let's see. I think there's 12. 12 divided by 52. 12 divided by 52. Now, if you draw another card, you lose a dot. All right, so let's see, and there's 40 regular ones out of 52. So what is the expected value? Let's see, 5 times 12 divided by 52 minus 1, 40 divided by 52. So that means the game is in your favor. It's not very pretty, but your answer is rounded 0.38. So you get basically 0.38 of a point. So believe it or not, it's in your favor. All right, if the tire has sidewall height of 5.5 inches, all right, so sidewall height is 5.25. You should be able to do these in your sleep at this point. We're trying to figure out what x is. You're going to take the circumference and divide it by 3.14. So 26.5. So I'm going to just take, let me zoom in for a second. All right, so 26.5, subtract out your 2 slide walls, you get 60. All right, ooh, this is new. Look at that. Solve in terms of E. All right, remember these? We don't know how many people can fit in. All right, so I'm going to make, got to use E. Remember E over 25 is equal to x over 3,500. Cross multiply and solve. I get my answer of 140 E. Oop, E. I'll do it right. E. There you go. Person wants to. All right. So remember, this is going to be the area of frame over the area of picture. So we're going to do that as a fraction. Now the area of the frame is simple because notice I already gave you everything. So the area of the frame, this, 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 and this. Height of 11, and then a width of 14. So 11 times 14, that gives you 154. That's easy. Now, I need to figure out what x is, and I'm going to use this to create a proportion to figure out what x is. So my proportion is always width over height. So it's going to be 6 over 4 is equal to x over 11. That gives me x is 16.5. Now that is my new width of my frame, I'm sorry, of my picture. There's the height. So I'm going to do 16.5 times 11. So 16.5 times 11, 181.5. Oops, put it equals there. Equals 111. And then the picture of the area of the frame was 154 divided by 181.5. And I get a rounded 85%. And that was 181.5. All right, that's it. Hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.